Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get in the Garage
We're a music podcast.
for music lovers.
And we are back with a new album review for you. This week is, of course, the new album from the Osees, Intercepted Message. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say.
I think I got that message while you were pointing it out.
An intercepted message?
Yeah, I intercepted it.
It just came right to you. So the new album, Intercepted Message, by the Osees. This is the Osees version of the band that has been, I think, running strong since about 2020, maybe a little bit before then. This is the 2-drummer lineup, guitar, bass, synth on there as well. John Dwyer is the main person behind the Osees, the main man through the entire lineage of the band, and is the producer on this record, as per usual. So let's dive into it. I think this is a definitely on the synthier end of this band. This is a band that is a garage rock, behemoth at this point. We've come through many flavors with them. Protean Threat from 2020 is like proggy can-like. Before that, you have the big prog version with Orc, and then garage rock versions before that. But this kind of seems to enter somewhere in all of those states. Last year's album, 2022's A Foul Form, was like a short punk.
I really enjoyed that one too.
Right, and
it was like straight to the point, hard hitting, lots of driving, lots of distortion, the whole nine.
Right, and like really, really short and to the point, like very stylized. This kind of I would say takes like the keyboard synthy sound effects bend, and kind of runs it through many of the Osees filters. But what was your like impression overall? I know you said you deep dived the entire Osees catalog, even though you were, I guess, like a casual fan. So like how do you think this stacks up with all of their album releases?
Yeah, so it's a like not a super long album, 41 minutes, which I think is like a really wonderful sweet spot for albums. I forget how many tracks, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember right now and rack my brain. I'm counting them all.
12 tracks.
12 tracks. So not bad.
I'm going to say 11 tracks on digital, 12 on vinyl.
Yep. So it's not bad from that regard, but it took its own style with a lot of that synthy electronic thing. Like if you look at the album cover behind us here, you can see it's a wonderful skull covered in wires, which probably represents a lot of the electronic, techno-y, like that kind of theme to it. So I kind of went into it thinking I was going to get this Osees, just loud garage rock, blow my ears off thing, because I'm listening to it in earbuds while like walking around or doing some work or something. So I thought it was going to be really loud and abrasive, but it ended up being like pretty just like moody and that kind of style. So my initial review was going to be like, I don't think this is what I wanted out of the Osees. But I actually took it for its own style and understood it a little bit more. Still don't think it's my favorite, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Alex on this one. I've been a big fan of like the large change-ups of the band, and kind of like when like they do their kind of style and then move on from that thing, and it kind of always keep the center line process of like what they do best, which is that like verse, riff, verse, kind of style in the garage rock form. But I'm going to say this album does have a little bit of change up. So, like, let's talk about what is different on here. There are choruses on this album.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yes, surprisingly, there were choruses. I don't know. I'm a Osees fan, but I don't, know if these are the first Osees songs with choruses, but these are some of, the more memorable ones I can think of. And it's something I always note on their albums that is it's definitely their style. But let's get into it. Stunner 2 has verses on here. The album opener, I thought it was really, really cool.
I thought it was a strong opener.
I thought so too.
When I listened to the album the first time through, I was like, oh you got my attention, let's see where you take it.
Yes, has that cool stabby synth too.
Yep.
And that was one of the songs with choruses on it. I wanted to know another song on here that I really, really loved and was one of my favorites on the entire album and one of the most Spotify streams so far, Goon on here.
Yep.
I really like the chorus on that one, and the chorus is like the a goon in the daytime, a goon in the night. What am I doing? Am I doing all right? A regular haircut, a sensible suit. So like that for them, like, and it sounded kind of just like their verses, but it was repeated, and it kind of had like that instrumental bridge in it too. And that was kind of like more old school, like drop style Osees, but mixed new. I really like that. It definitely is like doing like well for like singly kind of things.
Yeah, I think Goon was probably my favorite song on the album because it was like the most relatable to like previous works of them. I think it had like the most chuggy sound to it. And like that's kind of what I wanted more out of the album, was more songs like Goon, but I understood that that wasn't really the prime focus of what the album was trying to do. So I love that they put that in there, and it's obvious that it's going to be the most popular song because that's the most similar style to what they've done previously. But I think we have a lot to explore with it.
Also, speaking of like choruses, the last song on the album, talking about like the theme of the album, which is really kind of more of like we said, like electronic-y, keyboard, synthy, like over Osees.
Yeah.
This was the biggest departure. Always at Night, again, the last song on streaming. And it is like a synth-styled ballad, like almost like a lo-fi Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol, if you will. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like a lo-fi, like more depressing Eyes Without a Face. And for like the Osees, who are a band that sings about like gooey eyeballs and like dragons and defeating the beast in like his like frothy lair. Like there's always gross like lyrics like that, which I love. But your heart has shattered like a glass. Tears on your face, you cannot breathe. So take the moment, floating, feeling free, and open the door like it's 1983. For me, these seemed like Osees can get personal, like, but this seemed like a new step forward, a new breath. And I really liked this part of the album, and I kind of wished the rest of the album was more synth heavy in like this kind of style. Not that they all needed to be ballads, but this was a big switch up for me. I really thought like this kind of style, and it's reminiscent of things they've done earlier in their career when they were more like a lo-fi band in the early 2000s, but this is a more like robust, well done version of that, and for me it was just great. What did you think about like something like this?
Yeah, I think if the theme was more in that direction, I would have appreciated the album a lot more, where I think it slowed down for me kind of like in the upper half, like the third, fourth song, I think, where it got kind of slow, and then in the lower half, in that middle part again, it got really just like a lot of things started meshing together, feeling the same to me. But and then you get to the closure track, Always at Night, I think, correct?
Yep.
Always at Night, and it was like a total change up. It was this slow, synthy, like actual lyrics, has some meaning to them. So it definitely caught me off guard. And I think if it was an album like that out of the Osees, I'd be like, whoa, they're actually changing it up completely. This is like a whole different thing than they're doing now. So I could have done a lot more of that, I think.
So
like 15-20 minutes more of it.
do you think this is like in like Marvel movies where they put like the trailer at the end and then like you know what I mean, like the the teaser for the next movie at the end?
Potentially.
Like I mean the Osees have done that quite a bit in their. They have kind of like shown what they're going to like. Oh, this might be coming next. Like we're getting more medley, we're getting more prog rock. So I hope they kind of aggressively go for something completely different, even if that completely different is an album of ballads. I don't care if they're like heavy rock ballads
How
or
many
synth
albums
ballads.
do you have? It's like, we were talking about it earlier too, where it's like King Gizzard is doing all these things, and you have the Osees doing all these things. It's just wonderful to see them trying new things and finding their their different styles. So I'm just run it, man.
I'm
down for it.
I'm down for it too. I like a switch up. But again, I'm also here for the stagnant Ramones band that never changes and does the same album every single time. So there's something to be said for it, and like I'm here for it. But a couple more songs before like we head out of the review. Things that I think are definitely of mention. Fish Needs a Bike.
Favorite song.
The closer.
Fish Needs a Bike.
The closer of side 1 on the vinyl. Very Can. Do you listen to Can?
No.
Can's like I think they're Swedish. Forgive me if they're not, but no, yeah, they call it like krautrock, and
Krautrock.
it's like very like weird experimental like groovy like kind of funk meets prog music.
Interesting. Okay.
In a lot of ways, and it reminded me of like their kind of garage rock Can things that they've been kind of going on since like Protean Threat kind of.
Yeah.
There's always been that like krautrock groove in their music though.
Yeah.
But that was definitely, especially the lyrics. The fish needs a bike. Completely off the rails lyrics, nonsense.
Yeah.
A lot of sound effects and like.
Yeah, like another song, Chaos Heart had something similar to that, where they had maybe a xylophone in the back.
Yes.
Where it was like tapping around. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool right now. Keep running it with me.
Yeah, Chaos Heart. And my lyrics are xylophone thing is cool. I wrote the melody on that song is also one I really, really liked.
Yep.
And like Submerged Building, I like the rhythmic stab thing, but it was like classic Osees kind of, kind of things I've heard before. What else did I want to really shout out on here? Unusual and Cruel had the cool like bells, like ding dong ding, like church bells. So just stuff like that. And in oh my gosh, I cannot say the title of this album. Intercepted Message. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. Intercepted Message, the title track of the album. It also had that like beep beep kind of like beep 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 thing going on. And like this album is really, for me, was a lot of like literal, like the song structure is like around wing wong or like beep bop or ding 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 bop ding ding ding. It's all things like that, and I really enjoyed that nature of it. So it like literally, if that's how I describe this record, it's that meets garage rock.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to talk about on here, lyric wise? Anything else?
What'd you think of Blank Chems, where that one has like the ha's in the background and the whisper lyrics?
Oh yes,
I like that one too. That one had like a little bit of a different style to me, where like they had the like that sound in the back.
Instrumental. That kind of reminds me of like Mad Max Desert kind of thing when they do that kind of style.
Yep.
And I did think that was cool.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Give it a number for a review.
What do I think this is? For me, I'm gonna round this off with like a little kind of like monologue. I think the Osees as a band, I love when they do like the complete style change up. The last album was that like punk, really fast at you, like early 80s short kind of industrial music, and I really, really love that. This for me seems like it's kind of stuff I've heard a little bit from the band before.
Agreed.
Like I mentioned, it kind of sounds like a little bit like 2014's Drop. You got a little bit of this, a little bit of like Protean Threat from 2020. So I do wish like this was more stylistically different. I enjoyed the sound effects of it. And the last song, Always at Night, that synth ballad, it was beautiful. It was really cool and groovy, and I thought like that was like the like message and spiritual tone of this album, and or at least it was for me. And great album closer. I think one of the best Osees album closers I can think of in a long time. So having said that, some stuff I've heard before, I'm going to go that this is a solid 6.9. I think I'm a little bit more harsh with my garage rock because I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Especially the Osees. Like maybe 6.9, 7. It's around there.
Valid.
But I think they can do more, and I've heard this band do more things that I've enjoyed before. It's not that I hate this record. I'm gonna listen to it again, and I purchased it. You can see it here. So that was my rating. Alex, what do you got?
Solid 6.5. Not my favorite album by the Osees. I think I prefer a lot of like 2013. 2013 and then like A Foul Form. What is it? 2013.
Oh, Floating Coffin.
Floating Coffin. I love that album.
The Dream as well is another like classic from that era. See, for me, that's like that was my starting point with the band.
Yeah.
Was I got into the band around that point and I grew with them a lot, but
Yeah.
love all the different eras. But a lot of it's one of the Spotify's like most best played albums by them.
Yeah.
Still, I also wanted to shout out too.
Oh, that's dope.
It was cool. It was a cool
Hopefully.
looking record, right, guys? This is a pretty cool record. So
There you have it.
Intercepted message.
Oh, intercepted message, my man.
From the Osees on In the Red Records. No More Castleface, I think, everybody. I don't know what's up with that. They had their own record label for a long time, Castleface
Oh.
Records.
Never
But it
noticed
seems
that.
that they have gone back to In the Red Records, who they used to release on earlier. I don't know what's up with that. If anybody knows what's up with that, let me know what's up with that. Just because I'm curious.
Please do.
Yeah, so
There you have it.
this has been
Been an
Get in the
album review.
Garage,
Yeah.
and this has been our album review.
Thanks for listening.
We're back in the saddle, baby.